Hey everyone, just a quick recap from me today regarding Double Barrel's Week 1 match against STaY HuMBLe of the Warriors Champion League's Heavy Division Season 6. There's 4 Tunnel 13s, 9 Tunnel 12s, and 12 Tunnel 11s. Let's get into the action. Now before we watch some hits, I'm going to quickly go over some statistics for any of those people who like those. It ended up being an 11-star victory to Double Barrel, and we ended up clearing every base of every Town Hall level, apart from one. We had a 97% time fail with our Tunnel 11, a straight up fail with our Tunnel 12, and a time fail with our Tunnel 13. We ended up with a 98.64% average and the 72 stars. Our opponent ended up with the 61 stars, unfortunately swagging 2 hits, and in these times we can only hope that their health and safety is in order, but we can't be sure, so praise out to them. They ended up with a 90.2% average, landing 2 out of their 8 13v13 hits, 1 out of their 16 Tunnel 12 hits, and 8 out of their 24. Now let's get into some sweet hits. Alright, so our first 11v11 is going to come in from Elves. He's going to hit with the Electron. And instead of using the Blimp that we typically see, he's going to come in with a really good Stone Slammer entry. So it starts with suing his heroes and funneling up at 12 o'clock. He's going to funnel like this to make sure that his queen goes in and grabs that internal air defense. If he gets that air defense, that's going to allow him to let that Stone Slammer go all the way into the Eagle Artillery. King funnels down to 3 to clear that internal archer tower, and the Stone Slammer comes in and go all the way to the Eagle, picking up 4 defenses along its way. He simply drops the Rage, drops the Clone, and E-Drags does his thing. It was kind of a scary moment here when he turns away, however, luckily just in time, under the Rage, gets that Queen down, and a beautiful Lalo here to end it with. It's X for it, because he's absolutely crushed it. He has a Warden ability, a haste to carry him through this Inferno. He's got cleanup down, his King is still up. He's just absolutely destroyed. His Hounds went all around the base, one didn't even pop. And he's brought in the 3-star in just 2 minutes. GG Elves. Our second hit here coming in by Alex with the Miners, recognizing some key base building mistakes in the space and how the Eagle can be reached from the channel, as well as that Inferno at 6 o'clock if she keeps walking down. So he starts by funneling her with the King and Baby Dragon, and he's just going to slowly tread this funnel so that that little channel there at 10:30 is open for the Queen. King trades for King so the Queen has less damage on her, and then he sends her through the channel. Gonna both create the funnel for the Miners as well as get all those objectives, gets bomb towers, gets the CC, gets an Inferno tower and an Eagle eventually. Slowly work his way through. He's gonna drop a minion for that Lava Hound so it doesn't take so long to take out, and then that Queen can get that Eagle Artillery, and then he sends the Miners through to the Inferno so that his healers don't get roasted. Slowly treading through, he freezes the Expo because he has no more rage support for his Queen, and he wants to make sure that she gets the Inferno, and she does because she still has ability. Wardens onto the Hybrid, onto the Miners I should say. I'm just so used to Hybrid these days, and those Miners make easy work of the base with almost nothing left to deal with. Absolutely crushed it. Grace identification by Alex that he could walk that channel, even though that Inferno was going to take his healers. Now the last Tunnel 11 V11 triple coming in by Alex, bringing the drag bat on base 20. He's going to use his King at 3 to funnel, and then his Queen at 5:30 with an Ice Golem in front of her, making sure not to pull that CC, especially since it was a Hound CC from a failed hit before. We definitely didn't want to pull that on our drag bat hit. Luckily we didn't pull it with our heroes. That Queen gets that internal funnel and 2 Wizard Towers, which is really nice because it lets him keep his dragons on track. Puts him in with the Stone Slammer, Warden in behind. Simple, easy, but very effective. He's just going to cruise through the space. Dragons push through. He rages those balloons to make sure that they get the Eagle, as well as the Wizard Tower, to make sure that he can start those bats safely. And then he can simply start the bats on the Inferno. 2 freezes on it, make sure it doesn't ever touch his bats, and they can cruise through that base with no more splash damage left. apart from a little bit of point defense with that Expo, but he had a freeze left, so he could simply freeze that. GG Alex coming in with the drag bat triple, having 5 dragons left, a whole pack of bats, clean up as well, archers, minions, he had it all left. This was overkill, a really nice hit by him. And now let's dive into some 12v12 action. Alright, so our first 12v12 here is going to come from Frankie. He's going to come in with the Queen Charge Miners, a 3-minute hit, very close, but he got it done. He's going to start with the Coco Loon and the Blimp for that Inferno compartment. He's going to use a Rage to make sure he gets all the defenses in that compartment. And if you look at his Yeti Mites, he actually gets 2 of the Wizard Towers that are pretty far away, so he got a lot of value out of that Rage. He's going to start his Queen down at 8, and she's going to walk up to 1030 and then jump into that Inferno compartment. Funnel got kind of scary with those double Teslas popping, however she does end up pathing into the Inferno after taking care of the King. Stays under the Rage to make sure she doesn't even pop ability. Goes in after that. Uses the ability because there was a little too much damage, and he starts his miners. Now if you look, you might be worried, hey, those miners are going to avoid the Town Hall, but because that Blimp got so much of an internal funnel because the Rage was used, those miners can't actually go anywhere apart from the Town Hall. So this was a really good base identification and a really good setup by Frankie to see that, hey, this looks kind of scary, however I think I can reach that Town Hall, and he sure did. He makes sure to pop that Warden as soon as that Giga Inferno or the Giga Tesla starts blasting on his miners as they're stuck on the Scully traps, because he knows he doesn't need to use it for the Giga Blast itself. And this is a matter of cleanup, which got kind of close, but he got the triple either way. Rolled in the beautiful Queen Charge Miner triple. Our second 12v12 here is going to come in by Captain America, who, shout out, also got a 6-pack at Town Hall 11. Captain God almost pulled off the 6-pack at Town Hall 12 too, just short. Tried to mass hog, didn't quite have the punch, but he still brought in a triple with this beautiful P.E.K.K.A smash. He's going to start off with a little Queen Charge to make sure that those P.E.K.K.As don't walk away, and he's just going to jump them over the Town Hall and get them all in space. Uses the Rage, uses the Warden ability to make sure that those bowlers don't die, and just keeps them raged, keeps them moving, heals them as well to make sure that they don't die. I think we ran this plan before, and all those bowlers died in the core, so we decided to heal them. Uses the Siege Barracks, as you can get so much value as they walk down from 6 to 9. And then the Hog Riders clear up that back end Inferno. Queen ability still up, he's crushed it. P.E.K.K.A still up, Warden still up. He's just cruising through the base at this point. Bringing in the P.E.K.K.A smash triple, GG Cap. Now whilst we're on the topic of P.E.K.K.As, we might as well watch Kenny's P.E.K.K.A Bobat hit. It was great base identification as he could realize he could drive his Wall Wrecker through 2 of the Infernos and then reach the Town Hall and Eagle with relative ease so that his bats could clear the rest of the base. He uses the P.E.K.K.As out in front of the Wall Wrecker to make sure it gets as deep as it needs to, bowlers in behind. Easy as pie, and he's just waiting for everything to develop, get that Town Hall, get that Eagle, rage through some more. Maybe he even picks up that 6 o'clock Inferno with his Queen or something, but he's just being very patient, as he should be. Yet he's come out of that Wall Wrecker, absolutely crushing it, and he starts the bats at 10, and they can just run through the base. He freezes that Wizard Tower, he'll freeze the other Wizard Tower down at 3 as soon as the bats approach it, and then finally he'll freeze the Inferno. Beautiful. And then those bats can move on to clean up after, and then bringing this P.E.K.K.A Bobat triple on this kind of weird symmetrical base. Last 12v12 being Momo's hit, coming in with a Witch Slap against a triple single Inferno. You know, if you're gonna run triple single Inferno in this kind of format, you gotta expect that you're getting batted of some sort, you know. It's quite a risk to run to kind of say to yourself, hey, I don't think my opponent's good enough or skilled enough to do this, I'm just gonna run all singles. And he got punished because Momo, the Witch Slap God, brought in the triple. Wall Wrecker out in front of that Ice Golem, in front of that Wall Wrecker, Witch is in behind, and he is just gonna steam through this base. All those skeletons being taken out one by that single inferno. You can see do absolutely nothing. Wallwrecker breaks 4 layers of walls before it goes down, and then jumps into the town hall, a straight shot. Nothing can kill these skellies, nothing can kill these bats apart from these wizard towers, which he has 3 freezes for. There is no chance anything can stop him. Has the queen ability still for that town hall to make sure it goes down in time. Freezes it up. Maybe a little bit early on those bats that cause some of them to be roasted by that town hall, but they'll get everything they need to. They get that entire back end, and there's still so many witches up. I think he maybe lost like 1 or 2, so that back end single inferno is not a problem. He steams through, brings in the witch slap triple. Now onto the 13v13 triples. We have Nate bringing in the 3-star against our base number 1. Now this is a burned internet base, and guys, if you're gonna run an internet base, at least make it a good one. This one, it's not very good. It's better for 1 attack formats where you can't really take risks, and in this format where you can have 2 hits, cleanup hits, multiple people hit it, it is not a good base because we fresh this base with hybrid. Very easy hybrid base. You know, normally it's a little bit of a risk, which is why people don't do it. However, there is no risk involved here. You can just 3 down to 6 queen, king, 1030 down to 3, and hybrid through the little thing that's left with road champion behind, and nothing can ever really stop it. He has heals covering the scatters, healers transfer off to the hybrid. Single targets being tanked by the entire hybrid, he warns through it. Eagle goes down, everything goes down, Royal Champion still has ability, King is still clearing down to 3 o'clock. He's cleared, I think, a quarter of the space now, still hasn't died, finally goes down as soon as he locks onto the Red Warden, but at this point there's nothing that can stop it. He still has half his hybrid alive, still has Royal Champion ability, has 3 healers, has his Warden, he's absolutely crushed it, bringing in the 13v13 triple. GG Nate. Onto the second 13v13 here by Key, coming in with the Yeti Smash. He's going to simply use his Warden at 8:30 to create a little bit of a funnel. His King down at 10:30 to clear that side. Now, he didn't actually boost his bolus like he was supposed to, so this little barrack funnel, it didn't go as it was supposed to, but that's alright, it still works out. His King's going to clear it. Gonna pop his ability and clear that right side, start walking up. He's dropping his siege bags, the bowlers, and the Yetis all in behind, jumps over the scatter shot, and when planning the space, we just thought, hey, we can just commit all our resources to the start because we get so much value. We get the eagles, we get the scatters, we get everything that we need to. And if you look at this back end, there's no like back end single, there's no back end anything that can really mess up this Royal Champion from getting what she needs to. So whilst this kind of main push dies out, everything else is just gone. This Royal Champion can pick up, I think, half the base with her ability still up. She's absolutely crushed it. Star of the show, bringing in this 13v13 triple. And then the last 13v13 here by Eus, coming in with another P.E.K.K.A Smash. He's gonna use his Warden up at 315 to cut a little slice out of the space. He's gonna use a minion at 430 as well as his King and Siege Barracks to cut the other side of the funnel, and then just simply put down his P.E.K.K.As, put down his Yetis, jump over the Warden, make sure he takes out that Town Hall before he engages the CC, and then cruises through the space. Drops the Royal Champion behind the Hog Rider so she gets a little bit of extra tanking, rages to make sure that those Yetis take out those 2 Infernos, and with the Queen ability still up here, he has absolutely crushed it. It got a little bit close with that Queen spreading out, however, I think it did him a favor because it made sure that those P.E.K.K.As got everything they needed to. Just takes out the King, and just takes out that Inferno, and he gets it done, bringing in the triple for double barrel, securing us on the 13v13. And that concludes the war, 72 stars to 61. So I hope you all enjoyed that quick recap of the WCL Heavy Season 6 match between WL Red and Stay Humble. It was a really good match. We had a lot of great triples. We had a bit of everything. We had Sui Lalos, we had Electrons, we had Mass Miners, Queen Charge Miners, Queen Charge Hybrids. We had bat varieties. We just had everything. It was such a great war. It really showed everyone's skills in being able to use a lot of different attacks for a lot of different bases. And I think Double Barrel is going to keep crushing this season of WCL Heavy. Quick shout out as well for all of the guys in DB Red. This was the first league match for many of them, as we haven't done any league play since Town Hall 13 has dropped, as we didn't really have the numbers. But all the guys have come together, they've pushed, they've put in the hours, they've built the bases, they've crushed the FCs, we've destroyed the friendlies, and now we're ready for this competitive season, and we're going to take it by storm. See you guys. Peace.